morning, scholars. This is your Wednesday activity for April 1st, 2020. So in this video, we're going to be doing the problem of the day and the writing prompt. So if you can, make sure you have your materials ready, such as a pencil, piece of paper, or marker, dry erase board, whatever you have to write down your work. Go ahead and get that ready, and let's get started. So let's go ahead and do the problem of the day. A group of 64 children and 24 adults will travel to a zoo in vans. There will be 8 people in each van. How many vans will be needed to take the group to the zoo? So we're going to follow the read, draw. And what I like to do, since this is a word problem, I'm just going to do the RDW. Okay. And what I want you to do first is pause the video and see if you can do all the annotations and following the read, draw, write process, and see if you could answer the question on your own first, and then we can go over it together. So go ahead and pause and solve on your own. All right, so let's go ahead. We read this problem together. I'm going to put a check. Before I go to the draw, I'm going to go ahead and just write my answer out on the bottom. I know we don't know the answer, but we're going to go ahead and just write down what it would be. Now, are we looking for the amount of children that are going, the amount of adults, the animals in the zoo, how many people in each van, how many vans? What is it that we're trying to figure out? We are trying to figure out how many blank vans are needed. Let me go ahead and write that. Vans. So I put blank vans, so when we finish answering it, we can go ahead and put our answer here so that it matches with it. So vans. So we do need to know about children and adults, but our final answer has to match up with vans. So we did the right part, and we'll fill in our answer later. Now let's go ahead and do the draw. So I have 64 children, and the most efficient thing to do wouldn't be to draw 64 children. I'm just going to draw maybe a little smiley face as best as I could, and I'll draw a 64 next to it to let me know that that is 64 children and 24 adults. So I'll draw this one a little bit bigger. And then, so 24 adults. Okay, so there we have this part. I'm going to use a check mark because I drew it, a check mark because I did that. Then it says there will be 8 people in each van. So I'm going to draw one van because I don't know how many vans I have yet. That's what we're trying to figure out. Here's one van. And I have 8 people who can go in there. So out of this total people, 8 are going to go in this van, then another 8, then another, so we can see how many vans we actually need. So I think we're ready to solve our problem. First thing we need to do is, this is going to be a multi-step problem. So there's 2 operations that we're going to need to be doing. So if you just stop at the first one, then you're going to know that you need to move on. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my problem with a 1. This is the first step that we're going to do. So let's go ahead and figure this out. What is the first step that we need to do first? Before I can say, well, 8 people go in each van, do we know how many people we have right now? We kind of have some clues. We know we have 64 children and 24 adults, but we don't know the total amount that we have. So if you want to know the total, what is an operation we could do to find the total amount together? Do you know what it is? If you said addition, great job. So we're going to do 64 plus 24. Trying my best to write this. And let's add it together. 4 plus 4 is 8. 6 plus 2, and we got 88 what? I always tell my scholars, don't just write 88. You want to be able to write what it is. So actually 64, I'm going to write a C for children next to it, 24A for adults. And then 88 is the amount, we can say people, or children and adults, but we'll use people. Because in our next part, we're going to need that. So I'm going to write step 2. Now, do you see how 88 people is not going to match 88 or vans? If I write 88 here, this is 88 people, and we have blank vans. So that's a good check to make sure that you know that that's not your answer, and you need to go ahead and keep going. So we have part 2. We have 88 people, and now these 88 people, let's go ahead. This is a total of 88, and these 88 people have to be distributed into vans. 8 can go in one van, 8 can go in another, and another, and another, and another. So we're trying to figure out how many groups of 8 am I going to need. Now, you can go ahead and do 8 and another 8 and another 8 and keep adding until you get up to 88. You can do 88 minus 8 all the way down until you get to 0. Or you can do the easy way, or not the easy way, but the most efficient way, 88 divided by 8. I'm going to do 88 divided by 8. And if you can't do that in your head, we can do a fact family or the inverse. 8 times something equals 88. Let me write that. So using our fact family and our knowledge, if you know 8 times 11, great job, that's going to give us our answer, 11 V for vans. We can go ahead and check that if we want to do 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 11 times. If we got 88, it's correct. If you want to do 88 minus 8 minus 8 minus 8 minus 8 until you get to 0, you'll see that you have 11 groups of 8. So our answer checks out. 11 vans are needed. There's our answer, F. So great job if you got that. Here's kind of like my, before I started showing, this is kind of like my thought process for it. So great job if you got F as your answer. G is kind of not reasonable because first off, it's 80, I believe. And they just did the first step probably and did some miscalculations. 8 kind of just took, 8 people in each van. Sure, sounds good. But didn't follow through with the mathematics. And I'm not sure where they got 5 from, but it's kind of like totally not the answer. So great job if you got F. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the writing prompt for today. This is called Bookbound. If you could be the main character from your favorite book, who would you be? Write about an adventure you might have. Today, I'm going to write about one of my favorite books, and it's called The Day the Crayons Quit. It's about a group of crayons that don't want to be used anymore because they feel unappreciated as crayons, and they write to their owner, Duncan, about why they're quitting. And it's actually a really, really good book. If you haven't read it, I suggest you go into YouTube and find the read aloud. But that's one of my favorite books, so I would probably write as if I was one of those crayons and kind of write about where I'm going when I quit. So I might write about that today. So think about your favorite book from your favorite character from your favorite book, and write about an adventure you might have. Don't forget to send your writing to your teacher or your problem of the day work so she can see and I can see that you guys are keeping up with it and you haven't forgotten your read, draw, write process. We can't wait to see all your success that you're making even though you're at home. Again, you have control over this experience, and I hope you make it a great one. Hope to talk to you soon. Bye.